Hello.
Hello. Switch over to my AirPods. Try to turn this because that window is so bright. Hi, John. Didn't enable the waiting room, so people are just joining right in here. All right. I'm sorry I'm taking up your night.
No, you're fine. I have nothing else to do.
Except for play with the dog.
Luckily I'll be muted because I'm sure he'll be going crazy.
All right, let's see here. Yep, it's already recording, so that's all set. We have about 8 minutes here. Somebody's texting me. I don't even know who that is. I don't know. I'll have to look at that later. Anyways. All right. Hi, Mark. It's connecting to audio. Lindsay, I have a lot of information to share, and I talk a lot. So we're going to start right at 6 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep up if you're dropping links, dropping information. I'm like,
I don't know that, I don't know. I don't think that you're going to have to really think I have a lot of links in there for this time, really. You know? I'm trying to get all these pages opened up right now because
I'm actually very interested to see this class because, of course, y'all have taught me so much, but who knows, maybe I'll learn something new.
maybe so. Maybe so. So for those of you watching this as a recording, it's 5:53 and this is supposed to start at 6 o'clock. The recording started as soon as we came in. So we have about 7 minutes before we get started. Hi, Mark. Hi, John. You're muted, but feel free to unmute yourself. We have a couple minutes here. A lot of times they get started and walk off. My internet is really slow.
Mine too.
Yours is too?
I swear, it must be everyone at home just or mine. I don't know. It's never, I don't know.
Right. I may broadcast this live right into our Facebook group. Get that set up. Hey, I have your locally owned Tanchi shirt.
I'm going to come get it this weekend.
All right. All right, 5 more minutes. We did our CrossFit workout this morning on Zoom live in the Facebook group for my gym. It was kind of funny.
We've been doing Zoom. Well, we just watch her, like she mutes us all and then.
It's fun, but I miss my people.
Me too. I'd rather leave the house and go to the gym to do it.
Mm-hmm. We all met up at the park yesterday and stayed apart while we did the workout, but it was running. And I was like, I've been running this whole time, but he wore me out. I think it was because people were there and we were like, I mean, I'm the slowest of the whole bunch, so.
I just got Samantha's feedback.
Awesome.
Everything looks good. She just wants to change the hashtag.
All right, I'm gonna fill this up with water real quick. Hope some more people come in. Oh, hey, Kendra. I was talking to Kendra today. Kendra, turn your video on so I can see your face, but you don't have to.
I wasn't prepared for that. I just got back from a walk.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Have we met in person? Because the name of your shop is very familiar.
I have not met you.
Okay.
My husband's, I don't know if he's met you. We have a shop in Olathe and Gardner, Kansas, both.
Okay. So y'all were probably at Vision.
Yes.
Okay. So we definitely probably met, I'm sure, at some point. I just know the name of the shop was really super, super familiar. Hey, Amanda. I recognize your name too. I don't know if it's from a group or if we've spoken before, but I definitely recognize your name. You're muted, so you can unmute yourself. We have about 2 minutes before we start.
I was like hearing two conversations and I had the Facebook Live open on Facebook and it's behind. So I was like, why am I hearing her words are not matching her mouth? Yeah, I met you at Vision.
Yeah.
Where I'm with Certified Transmission. I'm up here in Omaha.
Right.
But we have shops down in Kansas City down there too. So
yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad y'all joined us tonight. I have a lot to cover, so I'm literally going to start right at 6 for sure. I hope people are happy with too much information rather than not enough, but there's a lot in this class. I didn't realize it until I did the outline, and then our designer put it all together, made it look pretty. And I was looking through it and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much information here. And I talk way too much. So I was like, I hope I can squeeze that in an hour. So we'll do that. All right, well, it is 6 o'clock and I said I was going to get started. So I'm going to get started. There was like close to 80 people registered. So I know a lot of people, it is at night, it's after work. So I think people are learning that for the most part, I try to record the classes and email you the link to the recording. So you will get that tomorrow. We have a resources page that we build that will have the slides, it will have the recording, and then extra stuff in there that relates to the class that people may find very helpful. So if you are joining us from our Facebook group, welcome, thank you. Just know that I'm not monitoring the comments on the Facebook group. So if you're responding there, please know I'll check that afterwards. But if you are here live with us on the Zoom call, I do want to introduce Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay, right there. Lindsay works with us here at Shop Marketing Pros. She'll be monitoring the chat, which is down at the bottom of the screen. So if you have questions, comments, ideas for other shops, things you're doing on your Facebook page, drop them in the comments, and we will go from there. Also know that you can swipe if you are on a mobile device. You can swipe to have a different layout so you can see people's faces. I will be going live and sharing my screen here in just a second. And then also, if you're on your desktop computer, if you're not super familiar with Zoom, in the top right corner it says speaker view or gallery. If you do gallery, you'll see other people there. But we have some people coming in right now. Welcome. Thanks for being here and sharing your Thursday night with Lindsay and I. So I was saying right before this that I wanted to start immediately at 6 o'clock because I have a lot to share with y'all. I started writing the outline for this class and probably got a little excited and put a ton of information in here. And if you've taken my classes before, you know I talk a lot. And so that's a good reason for recording it and sending you the slides so you can you can check it out again tomorrow or another time if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you and get going on this presentation. Give me, if you look down in the bottom of the screen there on your Zoom, you'll see like little emotions or reactions. Give me a thumbs up if you will, if you see my screen, which is the Facebook engagement screen there. Give me a thumbs up. Awesome, everybody's seeing it. Very good. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in here and get started right away. So I do see a local friend of mine who made it in, who's not a shop owner, but she said, "Can I take your class?" I said, "Of course." So Ashley, welcome. She has a super cool wine and cheese company. So everybody loves her. But at any rate, remember, if you have questions, put them in the chat. Lindsay will keep an eye on it. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in here and get started. Why go social? Look, here's the thing. It's because it's still relevant. All right. I hear questions all the time. What about Facebook? I hear Facebook's not so relevant anymore. Do I really want to spend my time there? And the answer is yes. As you'll see here, it says 29% of people deleted or removed social media because they were overloaded by it. I know, give me a thumbs up if you have felt stressed out by social media, or maybe you're looking at your screen time on your phone and you're like, I can't believe I spent this many hours this week on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is. People are definitely feeling that strain, and that's also why lots of people have switched over to Instagram. But today we're going to talk just about Facebook. I'm going to mention one other platform on here, but as you see here, overload was the biggest reason why people were kind of leaving Facebook, or social media, I should say. But here are the stats that you need to know when it comes to Facebook. While it is declining, there are still almost 2.5 billion people who use Facebook every single month. 2/3 of those users actually visit a local business page at least once a week. That's actually more than I used to think it was, because maybe I was thinking about myself, and then I started tracking it. And I'll go to a Facebook page to find their phone number, or I'll go to a Facebook page, especially now recently with this whole pandemic, I'll go to a restaurant's page to see what are their specials today, or do they have special hours happening today, that sort of thing. Facebook is still seeing global growth. Where they're seeing a decline is worldwide in the ages 12 to 34. Well, for you, you're probably not worried a lot about teenagers. Now, that kind of 21 to 34 age range, maybe you would be interested in that group, but when you look at the whole picture, Facebook is still definitely relevant, especially for auto repair shops. Only 6% of users in the United States are looking at Facebook less than before. And again, when we're talking about it, look at the whole picture. How does that relate to you in your local geographic region? You know, that may not be so much of an effect on you where you are. So Facebook is definitely still relevant, and I wanted to be sure to say that up front in the beginning, because lots of people I hear are saying, well, everybody's on Instagram, or everybody's on LinkedIn, or everybody's here. That's not necessarily true. Facebook is definitely still relevant. Why should you take your business online socially? Very simply, people are there. That is where while they're feeling overloaded, lots of people are going there for that connection, especially right now with regard to coronavirus. Social media is where they go to check in with their friends and family and see what's going on in their community. So if you're going to do social, do it and do it well. I love that that phrase, go all in. And that's what I want to remind you to do. If you're going to use social, don't waste your time doing it halfway. Like, let's really do it and do it well. Okay. I want to encourage you not to think, and we'll talk about this as we continue, but not to focus so much on the vanity metrics, like how many likes you have. Lots of people get super focused on how many people like their Facebook page, or how many people like a post or comment. Because when you go to a Facebook page, maybe you're looking at a competitor's page and you're scrolling through and you're looking, and what you're seeing is, well, they don't have a lot of likes on that post, or gosh, nobody's commenting on their post, when in reality, the real metrics that you want to see are in the back end of that. And I'm going to show you how to check that out, how to know if posts are actually working. I just sent a screenshot to one of our auto repair shop clients literally yesterday. And not only did I show them how their page was comparing to other pages, I'll show you that also, but I was showing them a video that we just posted 2 days ago that when you look at it, only had 3 people that liked it. There was 1 share and there was no comments. So at first you would think it wasn't good, but then when you dig in and you see how many people clicked on that post and watched the video, the number of views, that sort of thing, you knew that that post was performing well. In fact, it was performing much better than most of the posts that had been done over the past week. So focus on engagement and your likes will come organically. And I'm going to show you a trick for how to increase your likes based on likes to your page based on likes to your posts. So I'll show you that. So let's look first at some social trends that I think that you will want to consider. Don't panic when you see TikTok, but let me tell you, it's disruptive in a good way. Give me a thumbs up if you have downloaded TikTok yet. Anybody? Is there anybody out there that's downloaded or looked at it? How about a thumbs up if you've heard of it? I know you've heard of it. Okay, so TikTok is fun, first of all, and it's very engaging. The comments are there. It's really funny stuff. I'm going to tell you, I have it, and I did post 1, maybe 2 little videos on there, but as good as I am with social media, I am a little intimidated with trying to get in there and really figure out. So I'm going to watch some videos, probably take a class to teach myself, but I want you to know that it is something to watch. What I don't want you to do is become surprised by it. It's also a great place. If you do nothing else, download it, go in, tell it the things you're interested in so that you can start finding content that's highly engaging and interesting and fun that you can share on your Facebook page. If you do nothing else, it's a great place to get content. We're going to talk about other ways to get content as we keep going. Secondly, video. Video is not new, but it's still the real deal. And I'm going to give you some ideas a little later on as far as what to do with video, how to do video. But right now, I just want you to know that you need to be paying attention to video. Give me a thumbs up if you are doing video for your shop. How many of you? Or Ashley, for your wine and cheese shop. Anybody doing video for yourself? Okay, awesome. And when we talk about video, that could be a recorded video, that could be Facebook Live, that could be any kind of video. So as long as you're doing it, that's good. I'll give you some tips for doing it better, or if you're not doing it, I'll give you tips for how to get that incorporated into your overall marketing strategy. This is actually Stephen Beatty, who owns Cam's Automotive down here in South Louisiana. Lindsay here on the call actually manages his account. And then the third trend is taking having the understanding that private is becoming greater than public. And what I mean by that is the utilization of messaging. There's so many different ways that you can do that, whether you are taking advantage of the automated messages you can create on your Facebook page, so that when someone comes to your Facebook page, that little window pops up with frequently asked questions or things that they can quickly access. So make it easy for your customers to find information. But also, being very careful about checking your private messages, especially if you don't have it set to notify you when you've got private messages. I want you to be sure that you are checking your private messages, because very often you will get questions about scheduling an appointment, or how much does this cost, or customer service questions. That's a very big trend with regard to social media. People would rather message your page than pick up the phone and call you to ask you a question. And then, of course, I also want you to know that when someone comments on your post, there's an option there. You can reply to their comment, but you can also send them a private message. So hang with me here for a second. You post something on your Facebook page and someone comments. I want you to reply publicly so that the world sees it. But then if they've said something like maybe, hey, I love this place, or you guys are so great, or whatever, send them a private message and say, hey, Tommy, thank you so much for your comment. We really appreciate that. As you know, reviews are so important to us. Would you mind sharing that in a review? Right? Or just somehow engage and get into a conversation with them, because every interaction is building that relationship. And ultimately that is what social media is all about, is relationship building. Stories, Facebook stories, Instagram stories, they are unbelievably engaging and truly are seeing higher engagement and much higher reach than posts are right now. I still think you need to be posting on your page, but I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity that stories have for your page. They're visual, they're fun, they're quick. There are fewer ads in the stories feed. For those of you that are like, what is she talking about? When you go, and I'll do this way. I should have thought about this before, but when you go onto your Facebook, I don't know if you can see my screen here. I'm on my Facebook. Right here across the top, these are stories. And you just sit there and watch it, and it goes to the next one, it goes to the next one. There are fewer ads in the stories than there are in the news feed, and people are really enjoying that. So the user experience is better. So stories, as you can see here, are on the rise. You can see that, right? I mean, that's very, very easy to see right there. And that's from October of 2016 all the way to January of 2019. They're very, very popular, and I don't want you to miss out on that. They're really easy to put together. It's not like you have to spend a lot of time. Sometimes I'll literally go create a story just saying, happy Thursday, and I'll just put a fun picture on there with the fun little text on it just to show up in their feed. You can also ask questions on there. You can put quotes. You can do all kinds of fun stuff on there, polls. The fifth trend is funny to me because we're still talking about being relevant. I still see shops who all they do is post articles that they find, right? That's all they do. That's boring. There's a place for that, but if that's all you're doing, you are wasting your time. Remember I said, if you're going to do it well, go all in. You have to be relevant. And what I mean by that is knowing your audience. What do they care about? I'm in South Louisiana. If you know us down here, we love food. We love the New Orleans Saints. We love LSU. There's a variety of things. And then here in my local community, we have a university here. So everybody outside Louisiana thinks LSU, LSU, LSU. But if I were to turn my screen around, you'd see here in our office, we're all green and gold, because in our local, literally 2 blocks from my office, is Southeastern Louisiana University. And they're all green and gold, and we lion up here. That's kind of the thing that we say. So you have to know your community, and this is why the kind of white label social media does not work. If you are if the same thing is being posted to your social media that's being posted to all these other shops, it's boring. It's just not relevant to your audience. So you want to know your audience. The more you connect with them, the more your content is going to win. Then we look at, I already mentioned this, relationships. What can you do on your social media to connect and to build relationships? It starts with you being transparent and being authentic. You want your audience to see who you are, to understand more about you, and why they would want to do business with you. So nurture your relationships on there by being real, showing the human side of your company. There's so much going on right now with this pandemic where shops are really pitching in to help people in their community. They're helping other local businesses. They're helping the healthcare community. And so whatever you can do to showcase that, you definitely want to be able to do it. And then, as I mentioned a minute ago, I said, if someone comments, not every time, but when it makes sense, send them a private message. Let's back up a little bit from the private message. Maybe it's just that you respond to them. If people are taking a moment to comment on your post, that's a big deal. You should be responding to them. Reply to them and say, thanks so much. Really, seriously, something as simple as thanks so much for commenting, right? We appreciate that. Or if you can extend the conversation, keep it going. That's awesome. People love doing that. I want you to think about if you pulled out your phone right now and you pulled up your Facebook app and you started scrolling, it would take you maybe 2 swipes and you just went through probably 12 social media posts. Then at some point, people love when I say this, you slowed your scroll, right? Something caused you to slow your scroll. Start paying attention to yourself when you get on Facebook the next time and you're scrolling through. What made you stop? It was something funny. It was something that caught your eye because it was a video that was moving. Something about it caused you to back, whoa, let me look at that, and you backed up. Then think about what caused you to actually comment. Were they asking a question? Did they make you mad and you wanted to share your opinion? What did they do? If someone took the time to, whoa, back up, let me look at that, and then they took the time to comment, you should take the time as the owner of your page to give them the courtesy of you giving them your time to respond. So it's really super important. This is where you're going to build relationships. This is where someone, and here's the funny thing about social media, it's very difficult to attach an ROI, a return on that investment, right? So the amount of time you're spending that's worth your time. How do you know that this is making you money? It's going to be very difficult to prove that. But let's again back up and look at the whole picture. Let's say, for example, that someone learned about your business because you contributed to feeding the nurses at the local hospital during the pandemic. Because somebody tagged somebody in the picture and that showed up in their feed and they said, oh, XYZ Auto, I didn't even know they were here. And they like your page. Fast forward, they've been following your page. Then they saw someone wrote a review on your page. Then you posted something 2 months from now that they're like, oh, that's really cool. Each one of those interactions created more trust, created more likability. People do business with people they know, they like, or they love, and they trust. So all of your interactions are causing that. But when that person comes in and they ask, how did I hear about you? They're not going to say social media. They're going to say, oh, I remember when you helped out with feeding the nurses. But what caused them to come in? Your social media presence, you building that relationship with them. Does that make sense, y'all? You know what I mean by that? So build relationships using social media. Your audience and your community. I've kind of talked about ignoring them already without saying that's what it is. But when someone likes your post or they comment on your post or they share your post, they write a review, they send a private message, that's interaction with your page. And so if you do not respond to them, I say you're ignoring them. And ignoring is not a good feeling, right? Nobody likes to be ignored. So the chances are, if you don't respond to them, the next time they see something cool in their feed from you, they might not comment, they might not like, they might not share it at that point. So give them what they want, don't bore them. Think about where they are. One of our clients is a brand new shop. They literally opened their shop during this pandemic. April 6th was their first day in business. You know, they didn't know 6 months ago, a year ago, when they were planning this, that this was going to be happening. So they're doing well, they're doing fine. But one thing we have been doing for them is understanding their and they're in Illinois. We're in Louisiana, but we got to know them. We got to know their geographic region. We found community groups on Facebook, the name of their city, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. There are all these groups in your community, and we joined that group. So every now and then when there's something in that group that's just fun or cool, we'll just comment on that post in the group from the shop and say, this is super cool. And then occasionally another local business or the tourism department or the chamber will share something in there, and it's really good, and we'll share it on their shop's page. So we're interjecting ourselves into the conversation in community groups just to raise awareness of, hey, we're here and we want to be in on the conversation. So become a part of your community. Be where they spend time. So get to know your audience, know your community, and become a part of it. Listen to your customers. This is where I was going to tell you about where to create content. Your customers are going to tell you what content you should be creating. One of the biggest things that we hear from people when it comes to managing Facebook is either I just can't keep up with it, the changes are constant and Facebook is always doing something different, or it's I don't have time to come up with content, I don't know what to post. And so in this particular example, I ask my customers, what are the most common questions your customers ask you? Literally write them down. And one of the questions, this is Wyman Automotive, one of the questions that they ask, that they have been getting is, I don't know how often I should change my oil. Well, here's the thing. I used to own a shop. I don't know if y'all know that. My husband and I used to own a shop, and it's a very long story about why we don't still own a shop. But the shortest story I can tell you is a road construction project, which was not a fun thing. But anyways, it's another story. So that was 15 years ago. We closed it in 2008 or 2009. So to me, I'm like, are people still asking that question? But I had 2 shops within the past week tell me that's the most common question they get still in 2020. And it blows my mind. And I said, look, just jump on a video, literally take your phone out. It used to be that you want to turn it this way, but you want to turn it this way. By the way, y'all, that's my son. He's only 17. He joined the Army National Guard. He leaves for basic training soon. Anyway, proud mom. So turn your phone this way, right? Don't turn it this way anymore. And go sit in your car and video yourself, just talking, whatever, just to hear yourself so that you can go ahead and complain that you don't sound the way that you think you should sound on video, because you probably don't, and it's going to surprise you. Go ahead and get familiar with the ums and maybe you play with your hair, or maybe you scratch your face or whatever, then delete the video. The whole purpose of it is just to get yourself on video and get comfortable being uncomfortable. So do that a couple of times. Then think about the question that your customer is asking over and over and over again, and answer it on video. So that's what Lisa did here. Lisa from Wyman Automotive. You can see this video is a little less than 5 minutes. Some people will think that is so long. Sometimes you need a longer video to answer what needs to be answered. Earlier, when I was telling you about the customer that we sent the screenshot to of the performance, this video, if you look at it, just from the naked eye, you go to the Facebook page, you look at it, there's not a lot of comments. There's no comments, actually, I don't think. There's only a couple of likes and only 1 share, and it's Lisa that shared it. But on the back end, the number of people that have viewed the video, the number of minutes that have been watched on the video, the number of clicks on the video are very good stats. So she jumped on here, and as you can see, she's very funny, y'all. She kind of cracks herself up. You know how people do that? So it's not a boring video to watch. And she just answers the question. And then for me, I sit down, I don't know if you can see my notes here. I have about 8 different little nuggets that I'm going to pull out of that video and create individual social media posts about. And I'll make them fun. I'll make them engaging. But this also got turned into, it's in the process of being turned into a blog, put on a YouTube channel. We're going to use it as content in her email campaign. So Listen to your customers. Just today, in fact, is she still here on the call? I don't know if she got off the call or not, but we were talking about Facebook contests. So now I'm going, someone called, they messaged me and said, how do I know if I'm gonna create a Facebook contest and still follow Facebook's rules and regulations? I'm gonna ultimately turn that either into a video or turn that into a blog post. I'm building content based on what my customers are asking me. So listen to your customers. We have another one that just sent us a video that is how do I remove my cabin air filter? And some people are going to say, well, I'm not going to teach them how to do that. Here's the thing. It's very simple. But for most people, when they watch that video, they're going to say, I'm not doing that. And they're going to want to bring it to you to do. So that's only about, Lindsay, what was that video, like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes? That they just sent to us yesterday. So we're going to turn that one video into a bunch of social media posts that will share over 2 to 3 weeks worth of time. So listen to your customers and create content based on what they're saying to you. Okay. All right. We're moving on to the third part of this class, where I'm going to talk to you about how to make sure that your Facebook page is optimized. So everybody's heard about SEO, search engine optimization. This is SMO, which is social media optimization. We want to make sure that your Facebook page is optimized so that it shows up when people are searching. Facebook is one of the top search engines. People are now coming to Facebook searching for things in their local community. You want your Facebook page to show up. There's a lot that happens on the back end of a Facebook page, in the about section and the settings and all of that you want to make sure you are properly set up for. When you buy a house, you don't want to invite someone to come over to your house until it's really fully decorated and organized. Don't invite people into your Facebook page until it is properly decorated and set up and organized right. So let's look at what that means, okay? How to properly organize your shop's Facebook page. Create the page. Make sure that you're choosing local business as your category. There are some people that have shops that literally the category is not set, it's not checked right. Like they've got the wrong thing on there. So go make sure that you have that set up. Some of these things we literally set as a checklist that we look at on a monthly basis. Things like, which I'm not even really going to talk about, but who are the admins on your page? If you have an employee that's operating your Facebook page, and next week they get mad at you and quit, or you get mad at them and you fire them, but you forget to remove them from your Facebook page, that could be a real big problem. I have too much to talk about in this class to spend time talking about that. If you have questions, email me, kim@shopmarketingpros.com. Lindsay can drop my email in the chat if you need that. Of course, you're gonna have my email. You already have it because you registered for the class. But make sure that you have the correct category selected, and the branding. If you notice here, oh, let me back up. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Hold on. 1 second. Let me go back here. Notice that the profile image is properly sized. It says Wyman Automotive over here. And then also the cover image. By the way, I'm not a graphic designer, not even close. I use Canva, and Lindsay, if you can drop a little link to Canva in there. And I'm going to make notes of these things that I need to put on the resources page for you. The other thing that I'm going to put on the resources page for you is a link to a cheat sheet that will tell you the proper size that everything needs to be. What size your cover image needs to be, because a lot of times people will just take a picture on their phone and go set it as the cover on your page, and it just doesn't look right. They don't reposition it or move it around. So you want things to be sized properly. The profile image, we really don't change that often. Typically that's your logo and you leave it your logo. The cover image does get changed from time to time. So you want your branding to be consistent and correct, okay? We talked about consistent branding. Now, your description, adding a description. This is a screenshot from a mobile. I'm trying to give you some from the desktop and some from a mobile device. Speaking of mobile device, I want you to know that when it comes to Facebook, give me a thumbs up in the reactions there if you have the Facebook Pages Manager app downloaded on your phone. That's the one that has the orange flag, not this blue Facebook, the orange flag. Give me a thumbs up if that's the one that you have downloaded. Okay, so just a few people. You definitely want to do that. So homework, as soon as you, even if you do it while you're watching this, pull out your phone and go download the Pages Manager app. That is where you can schedule posts. That is where you can see statistics and insights and all sorts of cool things. You can boost a post from the app. So it's very helpful. But you want to make sure, notice the description here. A full description. Take advantage of every character space that you have. Don't waste any space. If you're going to do it, do it. Go all in. Make sure that you've got automotive repair shop listed as your category. Okay, so get that description filled out. Complete all of the contact information. Get your phone number in there. Verify your email address. Make sure the pin marker is where it is supposed to be. You can actually move it if it's not correct. So complete all of that information, including if you want to include pricing, like, you know, it's like $1 sign, $2 signs, whatever. The services that you offer, your hours, you can put all of that in there. Okay. And then your username, which is also your custom Facebook page URL. So for example, for them, it's facebook.com/Wyman Automotive. That makes it super easy for people to find you or to type it in or for you to be able to tell people. And so you definitely want to customize that. You do have to have 100 people that like your page in order to be able to customize that URL or that username. This also shows up as you see here. I don't know if y'all can see my pointer, but under the profile image, it's the @ So when you are creating a Facebook page and you want to tag, let's say, your Chamber of Commerce, if you know what their username is when you're creating your post and you're typing it in, you can type it in and do the @ XYZ Chamber, and it will pop up and they're tagged in your post. So it makes it really easy if you know the username and if it's very visible right there on your Facebook page. So get that customized. Make sure that the call to action button is active and set up on, it's right underneath your cover image. There are different options. You can't customize it, but there are several options like learn more, which could be visit your website, book now, as you see here, and that takes them to a page on the Wyman Auto website where they can contact them to schedule an appointment. There's call now. So there's different options that you can select. And sometimes we'll even change that from month to month and then compare the stats to see which one people are using most, and then we'll leave it that way. So make sure that that is set up. Review your page settings from the mobile app. You can go right here in the top right corner, but if you are on the Pages Manager app, you can click down and adjust settings, but you can also, of course, do this from the desktop. It's much easier to do from the desktop, but I just, again, like to put mobile options so that you have that as well. Review all of your page settings. There's a lot in there. You can customize. A lot of times we'll set it to be visible in the United States only because they don't need somebody from China seeing the page. It doesn't make sense. Or sometimes the profanity level, you can, if you don't want any profanity on your page, that will, if you set it to strong or medium, it will automatically hide comments that have vulgar language in it. So a lot of people really like to do that. All those things are in your page settings. That's also where you will go to make someone else an admin of your page. That's where you can go to adjust your private messaging options, all kinds of things. So go through each one of those page settings and make changes. All right, so let's talk about content. I already told you about listening to your customers. That was in the trends section. but that's also how we create content, is by listening. So I want you to create content that's varied, not making it so that everything you post on your Facebook page is all pictures, or everything you post is all text, or everything is a video, everything is a meme, everything is a GIF. No, you need to have variety. That's going to help cure the boredom that lots of people have and why they don't engage with Facebook posts. So there are text posts, there are photos, videos, graphics, infographics, there's illustrations, live video, all these different things, stories we talked about, pinning posts to the top of the page. And this is a screenshot here of one of our clients' pages. I don't even remember which one this is. And you'll see that we're practicing what we're preaching. There's video, there's a link, there's an image, there's a link, there's an image. This is a poll, I think, where we were asking a question. So there's different types of content, creating different types of reach and different levels of engagement. So it's good to have a good mix, and also notice the time. So this one was at night, this one was in the morning, kind of mid-morning. There's one, this is mid-afternoon, around kind of lunchtime-ish, because we want to hit different audiences at different times. Facebook posts tend to have an average life of about 3 hours. But the more engaging the post is, so the more people are clicking, liking, commenting, sharing, the longer the life will last of that post. So it's just another reason to have a good engaging post, because the more people that engage with it, the longer it's going to last. So have a plan for a variety. Maybe you have a calendar and you say, okay, every Monday I'm going to post an inspirational quote. Every Tuesday I'm going to do a video that's a tip. Every Wednesday I'm going to post some wild, crazy joke or meme or something. Every Thursday I'm going to pull something from my local community and share that. So every Friday we're going to answer frequent questions people are asking. It doesn't have to be so complicated. You can sit down, put it on your calendar, sit down and schedule this stuff out. Think ahead about what's going on in your industry, what's going on in your shop. Maybe one day a week you focus on a different technician in your shop, or a different staff member, something fun or cool about them. So different types of content posted in different ways. Variety is going to be key here. Okay, I want to show you this book that really is where we changed how we create content for ourselves, but also our clients. And there's an image of the book, but it's really right here in our hands. They ask you answer. Lindsay can put a link to that book, and we'll put a link to that on our resources page. I'm going to make a note of that. The book, essentially, it's written by a guy who actually owns a very large marketing conglomerate now, but he had a pool company. He sold pools, and he realized that people were asking the same questions. Do I put salt water in my pool or fresh water? Do I put this type of chemical or that type of chemical? Do I want concrete pool, or do I want whatever the other kind of pool it is? I can't even remember. All these different questions. And he started writing content for social media, for blogs, all of this based on what his customers were asking. Not only was that great for Google, because people are now searching on Google by asking questions. So if they ask a question, they're going to find that blog on your website, but they're using it for social media. So I highly recommend that you read the book. I didn't write the book. Marcus Sheridan wrote the book. I don't know him personally. I'm not getting paid to recommend the book. It's just, as the book title says, a revolutionary approach to creating content. We love it. And this is where we got the idea for our customers. We asked them, what are your common questions? Answer one frequent question on a video and send it to me, and we have content for a month. So that is what we're doing for them. And it's questions their customers are asking. I promise you, nobody in the state of Louisiana is asking anything about snow tires or snow, whatever you call them, chains or That stuff you put on the tires up. We don't have that stuff. But you know, one thing they are asking about, and this is for Cam's Automotive in New Orleans, potholes. If you know anything about Louisiana, you know about Mardi Gras, the Saints. We drink, we eat, and we have potholes. So anyway, I'm gonna move on because that's a whole nother conversation. Know your audience, know what they like. How old are they? How old are they? What are their jobs? Are your customers more, and look, I know everybody has all kinds of different customers. When we're talking about marketing, I need you to think about the perfect customer. When I just said that, you already had a name pop in your head. Who is your top number one customer? The one you enjoy servicing, the one who refers to you, the one who understands the value of having their car maintained and coming in for regular maintenance. And you know what I mean? Like that customer, that's who you're talking to. That's who you're writing content for. You need to focus your marketing on those customers. Are y'all with me? Does that make sense? Focus your marketing on the customers you're trying to target. You're going to pick up the other ones just naturally, organically, but your marketing should be focused on the customers that you know and what their problems are. How are you solving their problems? Create content about that. Okay. Check your page's feed. I'm going to show you what we mean by that, but I want to give this tip to you right now real fast. When you go to your Facebook page, I think I have a screenshot here. No, we'll come back to that. When you go to your Facebook page, you scroll down on the bottom right, there's a little thing that says pages feed. Some pages, for some reason, Facebook's not showing it. If that's not there, then you just go up to the URL where it's facebook.com/ the name of your page and add to the end of it pages_feed. Can you put that in the chat for me, Lindsay? pages_feed. And what that's going to do, it's going to pull up all of the pages that your page has liked. So I'm Kim Walker, but my business page is Shop Marketing Pros. I'm not talking about the pages Kim Walker has liked. I'm talking about the business pages that Shop Marketing Pros has liked. So your page has probably liked your Chamber of Commerce. Your page has probably liked Shop Marketing Pros. Your page has probably liked Vision if you like going to Vision, or Mwaka if you're a member of Mwaka, or the local pizza joint, or the local high school's Facebook page, or something like that. And so now that page's feed is going to give you lots of content. When you need something to share on Thursday that's community related, that's where you get it from. That's where you get it from. Okay, so page's feed is really important. The 80-20 rule, this is the type of content you're putting together. 80% of what you're creating needs to be informative. It needs to be educational, entertaining. You want to pull on the emotional strings of people. You want to make them laugh. I really don't want to make them cry unless it's like one of those good cries. You want to inspire and motivate people and make them feel good about their life and give them some hope. And maybe I'm not talking about posting political crazy stuff that's going to get people going, but maybe you put something out there that causes a little bit of controversy. And what I mean by that is getting people commenting and having a conversation. You know, if there's something, I know we posted, so in Louisiana, the inspection sticker, I was raised to call that a brake tag. And so on in Louisiana, one of our clients, we posted about that, and it was a funny meme. It was actually, I don't know if y'all remember this, a trend in social media a couple of months ago was the crazy meme with the lady and the cat. I don't know if y'all remember that. And so we posted that, and it created people arguing about whether the sticker on the windshield of the car is an inspection sticker or a brake tab, and it created all kinds of conversations. So that was fun. That fit within the 80%. 20% of what you post is promotional. I'm sorry to say that, but lots of shops, this is where they go wrong. They understand why their page is not engaging, which is what we're talking about today. And it's because they're posting boring content that is salesy. Facebook is social media. Social, by definition, is two-way. if you are posting on your Facebook page and people are not responding, you basically have a website, right? It's one-sided. You want to post things that are going to cause people to engage with you. If all you are doing is selling to them, they're not going to engage with that. But if you're promoting someone else, sharing what somebody in your community is doing, that's great. If you're sharing that, you're like, again, I'm sorry if y'all are not Saints fans, it's just in my heart, that's what we talk about down here, but the Saints just signed Taysom Hill, so we are all super happy about that for 2 years. I'm going to post about that. I'm going to post about LSU winning the national championship. I'm going to share about all of these cool things that are happening in our industry and what this person is doing, what that person is doing in our community. And then I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of salt, a little bit of, salt in the recipe, right? You have lots of flour, lots of sugar, but just a little bit of salt. That's where you can promote 20% of the time. So if you're sharing fun, cool, engaging, entertaining, educational stuff, you're helping me in my life, and then you drop in there a sales post, I'm not going to be offended by that. So you want to follow the 80-20 rule. Don't think you're going to get away with being salesy. You know yourself, you're not crazy about that. And then social media, when we're talking about what you're sharing, you can also look at it as the social media rule of thirds. A third of the time you're sharing ideas or stories, right? Those stories we talked about. Personal interaction. So that's engaging back with people, that's responding, that's sending them a private message. And a third of it is business promotion. So 80-20, rule of thirds, it's all very similar, but the point is for you to see that there's less promotion and sales than there is engaging, interesting, fun, educational, okay? Knowing when to post, that changes. Not only does it change from season to season, it changes from state to state. It could change from community to community. You have to know your audience, but overall, that's why it says your stats. Again, another reason why all these shops having the same thing being posted on their page, it doesn't really work. You have to know your audience and how and when they're going to respond. So currently, kind of overall, if you want to just get started, you know how when people come into the shop and they're like, hey, AutoZone gave me this code that they ran, and they think they don't need to pay you a diagnostic fee, but in reality, you know that is only pointing you in the direction. This is only pointing you in the direction. You're going to have to do your own diagnosis to determine when your numbers are working. But to get started, try posting mid-morning to mid-afternoon and see how that works for your page. You have to know your stats, and I'll show you where to find that. More content, we talked about this, getting involved in groups. We talked about the messenger. Boosting posts. So my view on this is typically different from most people. Most people think, I'm going to boost this post because it's not doing well. Why would you put more money on something that's not performing to make it not perform even more? What I want you to do is find the post that's working and boost that post. Let's make that one that people are naturally responding to go farther. Consider using a scheduling tool. If all you're doing is Facebook, disregard. You don't need this. But if you are using Facebook and Instagram, or you're using Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, or you're using several different social media platforms, you need a scheduling tool to make life easier. And I do have a class coming up about that as well. Maybe Lindsay, if you can drop a link to our upcoming classes, that would be cool. All right, so measuring. Here's some stats to show you. This is from the Pages Manager app. I bet you didn't even know that you could see all of this right there from your phone, how your posts are doing, how many people you're reaching. Keep in mind that a reach is not just the people that like your page. Organically, the people that like your page, let's say there's 500 people that like your page. Just naturally, your posts are only going to show to 1% to 2% of people that like your page. That's not a lot. That's why it's so important that you create engaging posts that cause people to slow their scroll and like, comment, share, click, send a private message, write a review, check in, all those things. As you can see here, this one on the right, their posts during March 31st through April 27th, which is the last 28 days, was reaching 17,000 people. 17,000 people. Keep in mind, this is the shop that opened April 27th. So there's that, to just open their business and be reaching that many people is a lot. Now they are, as you can see, boosting some posts and doing some ads, which helps that. But as you're thinking, well, they didn't open until April 27th. They had their page created before they were opening. So they were doing teaser posts and, hey, we're opening, and that sort of thing. Same thing over here with this shop. I think they only have several hundred people that like their page, but they're reaching just under 34,000 people. Notice the type of post down here in good old New Orleans. This was a video of crawfish, and they were showing that they were feeding their team crawfish and social distancing, kind of keeping their spirits up. It was reaching a good number of people, lots of engagements, and so on and so forth. Easter posts, but you can see all of this from in the app. So check your Facebook Insights. You can also do this. You will see more if you check your insights from your Facebook page. You'll go to the top of your Facebook page, right above your cover image, and click on Insights, where you'll see lots of information such as this. So this is the first thing you'll see, which is the page summary. It's the overview. You can change what the time frame is there, and you'll see the actions on the page. You can see page views, reach, all sorts of information. That's very good. You can also see the page growth, how many people like the page. You can select the date range. You can also see, one person unliked the page back here, one person unliked it here. That's just a little bit. That's one unlike here and there. What you want to do is make sure there's not huge numbers of unlikes, because then you're like, whoa, what happened? And you can scroll over that and it will point out the day. So you can go back to your Facebook page to that day to see, what did I do wrong on that day? Why did 5 people unlike my page when usually it's only 1 every now and then? So you want to look at the number of people that are liking your page, how many people your page is reaching, and engagement, just so you can keep an eye on things and know when things are not going well and when they are going well. There's also a section on the insights. When you go to insights, and look, not everything happens in the app. This is on the desktop. When you click on insights and you scroll under the overview, your page can actually click add page and watch your competitors' pages. So this is Wyman Automotive, and these are some competitors of theirs. They just opened April 6th. They already have 183 people that like their page, so they rank 6th out of all this. But if you look at the engagement, they have far more engagement than any of the shops in their community, and they just opened. Now, granted, they're posting more, but they just opened, so they have to do that to get in front of people, okay? Don't be distracted by vanity metrics. We talked about that. I want you to sit down and kind of create your own report. Write down where your page is now, so that a month from now, you can come back and look and see what your growth is, or 2 months from now, or 4 months from now. You want to be able to see a trend. So I would probably put into your calendar maybe once a month. If you can do it twice a month, that would be great. Put on your calendar, Facebook Insights check, and just sit down and spend 5 or 10 minutes looking at your stats to see where you're going and what's working, okay? So wrapping this up, here is your what's next section. I would love to see you create a calendar, and that's not so complicated. Literally, you can print a plain calendar and just write out, some things that that you want to do. Like I was saying, maybe you're doing a motivational post on Monday. Maybe you're doing frequently asked questions on Friday. Thursday, you're promoting something in your community. Think for yourself what makes sense for you. Create a calendar. Lindsay, if you'll put the National Days link, there's a link to, I'm going to make a note of that too, because there's 2 things I want to give to you. One will be a link to the National Days where you can see what is today, right? Ashley with she's here in my local community with the cheese and wine shop. They're doing super cool things right now in the pandemic, like virtual wine parties and stuff. But when it's National Cheese Day, she goes crazy, and she'll turn the most awkward day into something that relates to her audience because she knows them really well. So think about looking at that to see what days are coming up that you can tap into. And so Lindsay's going to share a link to that. But we also, what I did for you that I'll put a link to in the resources page, you'll get an email for this tomorrow, is I personally went to that page that Lindsay's sharing with you, and I went through every single crazy national day for the whole year, and I pulled out all of the national days that relate specifically to automotive repair shops, or how I think you could make it relate. We created a graphic for you. We created the actual social media post. So we have that whole, it's a PDF, like a guide. So we'll give you that in the resources page. I talked about this, set an appointment with yourself. Literally put it on your calendar to sit down and schedule your social media posts. Get the whole next week or the whole next 2 weeks of posts scheduled. So you don't have to think about it again. All you have to do is respond to comments. Set it on your calendar as an appointment and get that done. Create a scheduling plan. Do you need a tool or not? We talked about using a tool if you're using multiple platforms. We love to use Buffer. Lindsay, you can give them a link to Buffer, and we'll put this also. And then I have a couple of blogs that I will link to as well that tell you more about those tools. And then I'm teaching a class, I think in June, specifically about how to use Canva, how to use Buffer to make life easier so that you can do the scheduling and not have to really think about it. So we have 2 minutes left, but I am going to stick around for questions for anyone that wants that. But I do want to tell you, in case you don't know, we are shop marketing pros. My husband and I were first shop owners. That's not true. He was first a Mercedes-Benz diagnostic technician. He worked at a couple of different dealerships, and I was a teacher and a school counselor. And then we ended up owning a shop and another shop and another shop. I think we ended up with 6 in the end. But it's a very long story how we got into marketing, but we did marketing for our business and have done marketing for other shops. And so that's who we are. We actually do your marketing for you. So if you get through all of this and you're like, I don't want to do all of that, we'll do it for you. So we do marketing, we build websites, we do SEO, we do all the stuff. And our website is shopmarketingpros.com. But I also want to encourage you to take a look at shopmarketinguniversity.com. That is us as well. That's our online teaching area, where right now we have quite a few free classes just like this. There's classes my husband has taught, there's classes that I've taught, and we're adding to that. So you can always go take a look at that if that helps you. So I'm going to take a sip of water. It's 6:59, and I'm going to take a peek at the chat. Let me stop sharing my screen and take a look at the chat and see if you guys have any questions. You can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question, but I do want to just remind you that I'm going to send you an email tomorrow with the recording. I'm going to send you an email tomorrow with the slides and with all these little links that Lindsay has dropped in here and different things. You'll have a link to go access that. If you're in our private Facebook group, which is called Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind, this is in there as well because I put this live in our Facebook group. But I do very much appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight on your Thursday night. Lindsay, thank you for being my second hand, being a great helper. It looks like Angie has her hand raised, so I'm going to unmute you, Angie. Did you have a question?
I hit a wrong button.
Oh, she hit the wrong button. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hitting the wrong button. Hey, you guys give me a thumbs up if you got some good tips tonight that you can implement into your Facebook strategy. I hope there's more than just one. But let me look at these. Thank you. I don't know if y'all are making me feel better or if you're being serious. So Let's see, Lindsay, I'm going to unmute you. Were there any questions off the top here that you know I need to? Okay, Ashley. Yep, go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me see.
Okay. Dave said, explain what stories versus pages are. So the business page is your actual business page. That's where your cover photo is at the top. That's where you're posting, and your posts live on your page. Stories are, they only stay on, they're not even on your page. You can go to the page and you click your profile, and that's where you'll see the stories. But when you're on your, I'm going to show you one more time because you might not have been in there when I showed this. But when you open up your Facebook app, these, oh, what did I do? I don't know what I just hit. These right here across the top, I can scroll. I'm looking at it backwards. I can scroll through and see all these. Those are stories. So go take a look at that, Dave. And that's what a story is. They only stay there for 24 hours and then they're gone. So that's what that is. Should you always answer through your business page on a post? If they're asking you on your business page, then yes, I think you should answer from your business page. But you know what I love to do is when I'm scrolling through my personal Facebook profile, if another business has something, I will change it. I'll see again if I can show you. So, and I'm on my phone right here. That is a drop down. So I can select that drop down. It pulls all the pages that I'm an admin of. So I can then change my comment to be the page that I'm commenting from. So you can do that. The other thing I want to be sure to tell you is if someone likes your post, you can click to see all of the people that have liked your post. And if they have not liked your page, you can invite them to like your page. So a lot of people don't really know that fun little trick. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your Thursday night. I will say, if you liked the class, I would love for you to go write a review on our Facebook page at Shop Marketing Pros. That you know how important reviews are to your shop. They're just as important to us. So if you got some valuable information, please go write a review. If you didn't, just send me a private message. All right. Well, I'm going to end the meeting. Thank y'all so much for your night. And we'll send you this email tomorrow. Bye-bye.